Yo, what is up, YouTube? It is Zeta TCG here, and today I want to discuss about a new game coming out next month. It's a highly anticipated game among older gamers because this game does hold something special in their hearts, so to speak, for video games, and that's Doom. Um, Doom is highly regarded to be the first person shooter to ever come out in video game history, and ever since it's really been a very popular series until maybe after Doom 3, whenever there was some conflicts between the developer and the publisher. Now, I have never played Doom before. However, I did play the beta. I played both betas actually. I played the closed, and I played the open beta. And basically, what the developers did, I think it's ID Software. Um, Please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but ID Software, I believe, they didn't make hardly any changes whatsoever to their game on what I think could have really improved the game overall. Um, and that's honestly not a good thing. I had major concerns with the beta whenever I played the closed beta. And my first impressions were after playing a couple of matches with my friend, and him and I were discussing this, is that first off, it's very unbalanced. There's a lot of guns that are really fucking good. Like you just saw right there, that shotgun, point blank, instant kill. And you're gonna see some ridiculous ranges sometimes, depending on how much health or how much shield one player may have. That a shotgun is one hit kill, and the ranges on getting those one hit kills are sometimes really ridiculous. And I honestly don't like that. And you know, I'm all for having a lot of good weapons in an online multiplayer, but if you're gonna have a lot of good weapons, please have more weapons that are very similar in terms of more a little bit of play style, and also a little bit of terms of their overall stats, so to speak. Shotgun is one of many weapons in the game that I think are very good, and in fact they're too good. They're overpowered, and there's really only one fix to it, and honestly, it's just to trim the range of just a little bit, just a little bit. I don't want to touch the damage, but they could trim the range a little bit. Rocket launchers should never be considered to be a primary, ever, whatsoever. I don't care what game it is. Rocket launchers are heavy weapons. I mean, I'm using a Destiny analogy here, but rocket launchers are a heavy weapon. Rocket launchers should be a privilege to use. Rocket launchers should not be a primary whatsoever. I don't care if this game is Doom or not. It could be fucking Easter Bunny's Massacre for all I give a shit. No way, no how should rocket launchers be a primary, because there was a handful, more than a handful, of people just walking around with rocket launchers, and I hated that. Assault rifles in this game are absolutely weak. They are irrelevant. Okay, they are absolutely irrelevant. Okay, they need to be improved a significant amount to be viable in this game, because I swear to God, I had to empty a whole entire clip into a about maybe 35 shield max health opponent, and that should never happen whatsoever. I don't care. I don't give a shit what game it is. So weapon balancing in this game, it's very unbalanced. It is not good, and that's the one thing that desperately needs a change, if you were to ask me. Now, moving on, the one thing that also bothered me too here was the lack of a map. Um, there was no mini map on your screen, as you can see here, um, and unfortunately, that honestly led to a lot of wasting time and not getting into the action. And I feel like if they added a mini map to show players where the enemies may be or where action is occurring, that'd be really good. Because let's face it, you're the first time you're gonna play this game, you're not gonna have any idea where the hell everybody is. You're just gonna be running around in circles. I did that more than once in both betas, and I wasn't very happy about it. So that's one thing they desperately need to change, is adding a mini map just to show players where the action is occurring. They don't have to. They don't have to really show who's or okay. Hold on. They don't really have to necessarily show where is who, so to speak, but they need to kind of give you a different point of view of your map, and to show you where other players may be, where there is combat involved, so to speak. And this is where it comes to my second point, that there is a huge lack of teamwork, and I done goop right there. There is a huge lack of teamwork in this game overall. It could be team deathmatch, it could be that moving control point, whatever it may be. It is just not good. No players are following the objective, and honestly, it could really be better overall for this game if this game is aiming to be one of the best first-person shooters of the year, to really, bring more teamwork tactics into this, which is also going to bring me to my third point, is this game lacks tactics. I mean, when I want to play, a game where it's really gory and shit, I don't just want to see, a bunch of blood flying around just because I kicked someone in the face or I blew them up with a rocket launcher. No, I want to, I want to do something creative. I want to, I don't know, maybe place down a trip mine that they may not see and watch them blow to pieces. Maybe I want to, I don't know, maybe go invisible for maybe 5 seconds and creep up on my enemy and then just crack their necks. I don't know. I mean, I would like to just see more overall tactics that you would see in any other game like this. For example, Killzone. Killzone, you guys have heard me mention this before. I've even mentioned it on Twitter maybe once or twice, but I was involved in competitive Killzone 3 online multiplayer matches. And Killzone in itself was a little bit gory, yes. There was a melee system that was implemented that would just straight up just almost make you even throw up at some points, where you would just squish and just squish out somebody's eyeballs. I mean, Doom is supposed to be all about gore and stuff, but there was hardly any of it. And I think if there was more tactics involving your overall usage of your arsenal that you have, and how you engage enemies, that would be very good, and that would make this game really good, and that would make me consider trying to see what I can do to see if there's any competitive type games going on here, because futuristic shooters are my thing. I mean, I played Destiny. It's set, a couple hundred years in the future. I played Killzone. That's set 200 years in the future. I'm trying out this Doom game, and Doom right now, obviously with the type of guns that are in this game, it's very, very futuristic type. Futuristic shooters are my thing, and I always enjoy playing, a competitive game of an online multiplayer, whether it be team deathmatch or an objective-based game mode going on, where I can just go around, have fun, and just tried to, put my own skills to the test. And there was none of that because of the lack of tactics. And this is going to bring me to my final point here, and this is more of a specification issue involving their PC hardware and their terrible optimization of the game on PC. I am running and I'm using the same system to record my video here. I built my rig recently, and I have an i5 4690K overclocked to 4000 megahertz with an R9 380, 4GB graphics card by gigabyte, and whenever I was trying to record gameplay of the closed beta, I was getting terrible frames, and that's not good. This game is not very demanding, and it shouldn't be. And for some odd reason, no matter how low I got the settings down to, even if I went into windowed mode, I was getting 15 frames per second. That's shitty, okay? That is straight shit. I'm running, a mid-end system, a middle of the pack, maybe middle high-end type system here, and I'm not even getting the frames that I would get whenever I'm also recording gameplay on OBS with, the system I'm using right now. And even whenever I wasn't overclocked at first, I was, getting consistent frames. And those frames were good. They were playable frame rates. But whenever I turned on OBS and I tried to optimize this game so I can play it, for some reason, 15 frames per second across the board. That is not good. This game is not optimized the way it should be. And that's something on the developers end they need to fix before this game gets released. Because if you need to have some high-end, i5, freaking, what's that one? i5. No, not an i5. No, if you need some like Skylake CPU, i7 6700K or a 6600K i5 to be able to get 30 frames to record on a PC when you should be getting 60 frames, because whenever I wasn't recording on OBS, I was getting 60 frames across the board. There was times where it would dip whenever there was a lot of, explosions going off or something, yeah. But other than that, 60 frames. And whenever it did dip, it would dip to around maybe 50 or 45. And that's barely anything. I can do with that. However, the fact that, and to be honest, you're probably saying to yourself, well, that could be an OBS issue. And yes, you're right. It could be an OBS issue. However, if I've played other intensive games that I've had before that I've recorded gameplay on my PC that are really more demanding than this game on its own. Like, for example, Borderlands 2. And, I know you guys are probably saying, well, Borderlands 2, well, that game is like, it's like a little kid drawing art in his art book. Well, okay, hold on. I have every single setting on that game maxed out. The only thing that is turned off or that is on low is NVIDIA's PhysX setting, because I have an AMD chipset graphics card. That's the only thing that is literally turned off. Everything else is high. I have, I have the highest anti-aliasing I can get. I have ultra textures or high textures. I have basically maxed out settings, and I was getting frame rates at 60 frames whenever I was recording. Whenever I would try another game, for example, Tomb Raider, I would have, high settings, and I would record it. I would probably lose 5 frames. And the max I was getting was 60, the average I was getting was around 50 frames, and so therefore I was playing the game at around 40, 45 frames per second. That's good. That's easy. So it's obviously an issue with ID Software and how they are developing their games. And this needs to be fixed before the game gets released, because if you seriously need to have a high-end system to just simply, stream it or record gameplay of it on PC, try to get, 60 frames per second, that's terrible, and that should never happen. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude it right there, guys. If you were to ask me to grade my overall experience on the Doom beta, it is not very good. The game feels like a $60 Team Fortress 2. And Team Fortress 2, you could download that shit for free on Steam. So my grade out of 10, a 5. It's okay. It's just, it needs a lot of improvements. They need to balance weapons, they need to improve teamwork, and they need to improve tactics, and they obviously need to optimize their game better on PC. Because this is, recording you're seeing right now is recording on PS4. And I don't want to do that shit. I want crystal clear stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and call it right here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you would subscribe, I'd really appreciate it for more video game, type videos such as this one, where I talk about reviews and other such. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram as well, @ZetaTCG for both. I really appreciate it as well. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, dislike it. If you have anything you want to say about the beta, let me know. I would love to discuss with you guys on what you thought of it as well, because I honestly thought that all this game really is just a paid version of Team Fortress 2, where you have to go around the map, pick up other stuff, and you have unbalanced weapons. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and for sure right here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. I'm going to leave my video up for just maybe a couple minutes so you guys can see what I do in this match. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video whenever I do that. So, once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is your boy Zeta, signing out.